All right, let's talk Kyrie Irving. He left last night's game against the Bulls after getting elbowed in the face by Nikola Vucevic. Irving was declared clear of a concussion, but he will need a second X-ray today to determine any further damage. He's listed as questionable for tonight's game against the Spurs. Remember, Kyrie's had those eye injuries in the past, so you really want to be careful with this stuff. Now, Kyrie's potential absence spoils James Harden's expected return after missing 18 straight games. Harden has been out since April 5th when an MRI revealed a hamstring strain. The Nets are 2 games behind the Sixers for the #1 spot. Just 1 game, though, in front of the Bucks, who are in 3rd, so this game really matters. Mark, are you concerned the Nets may not get to full strength before the regular season ends, or as long as they've got Harden back? He does seem to be the activator in their win-loss record. When he plays, their record is pretty phenomenal.
Well, I think I'll be concerned until their season ends. Injuries has just been something that has been hampering this team, but I'm really happy for James Harden. He expects to play a couple games, and he needs to get the rust off. I don't know if it's enough games to do it. He said he expects to play a couple, so yeah, I expect him to play tonight, but I definitely don't expect him to play that back-to-back this weekend. The one good thing about the Nets, though, is even if they don't have all 3, if at least 2 of their big 3 play, they're always elite and capable of beating anybody.
I think, Mark, you hit it on the head. The fact that they have 3 superstars, and granted, we haven't got to see all of them as much as we want to together. It's always a luxury to still, if one's down, you still have 2 left. One thing about Kyrie, he's played with the mask before, and his numbers don't dip too much.
Nope.
Another thing about James as well, I mean, with him in the lineup, they have the best winning percentage in the NBA. With him out of the lineup, they're 1 game over 500. So James is a huge piece to make this team go. Obviously, we all selfishly want to see all 3 of these guys together, but, like Mark said, I'm going to be worried about this team anytime any one of these 3 guys fall down, and that even goes for like AD and Giannis. Anytime I see stars fall down now, I get nervous for a second because we desperately want to see everybody healthy in the playoffs. So I think this team will get there, and to me, it's the Nets East to lose.
Well, I disagree with you. I disagree with you, man. You still my brother. I'm picking coming out of the conference. But look, let me tell you why. And here's why. Because, look, we all know with the big 3 on the court, whether or not they play together in the regular season, they're going to score points offensively. I'm worried about the others, okay? The Joe Harris, Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan, Claxton, worrying about rotations, right? Steve Nash got to figure out which lineups work defensively, right? Because their defensive identity is not there. And when you look at the Eastern Conference, it's not weak, it's strong. Philly are deep from top to bottom. So is the Milwaukee Bucks. We just got through talking about the Miami Heat. They have these teams that are not afraid of the Brooklyn Nets, and the Brooklyn Nets can't outscore everyone, right? You got teams that could get hot, but at the end of the day, at some point in time, you're going to have to buckle up and get stops. It's in history. Well, it don't matter what big 3 you throw out there, whether it was LeBron with Miami, whether it was Steph, Clay, and KD, or Paul, Ray, and KG, they all rank top in defensive categories. So defense does win championships no matter how much offensive firepower you have.
But injuries can stop them, too. And that's what I thought happened with the Raptors. I mean, if that team was healthy, Kawhi, with all due respect, the Warriors would have beat them.
Question.
You mean the Golden State against the Raptors, yeah.
Well, I think one thing I'm encouraged about is we talked about this team's defensive all year, but if you watch when these guys are playing, because they definitely hurt us, they were individually locking down. And then Claxton is kind of coming into his own. DeAndre Jordan is still going to be a blanket back there. Jeff Green is a very versatile big for them. So I don't worry about it. Obviously, defense is very important. The game slows down in the playoffs. But when you got 3 guns like that, I think their job is just to make sure that all the other guns, like you said, Joe Harris and Shaman and all these other guys get touches, because you know what you're going to get out of that big 3. You're going to get a lot of buckets. But again, like I said, KD locks down. Kyrie and James have definitely been on the ball and playing a lot better defense. So I'm not as worried as I was at the beginning of the season about their defense, to be honest with you.
And look at that bracket. With all due respect to Boston or Charlotte, who could possibly end up in that 7th spot if the bracket stays as it is, it's not the Warriors and Lakers in the play-in tournament in the West. It's a different quality of team down there. Boston is without Jaylen Brown. Charlotte's just getting its taste of what this team could be. And so if the Nets need to use the first round to sort of play themselves into shape, that we've seen it happen before in the Eastern Conference, and it's worked out just fine. Mark, before we let you go, we want to congratulate you on being selected to host the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame Class of 2020 Enshrinement press conference this weekend. For people who don't know, that press conference is this sort of big moment where we get to see all the guys together. It is a well-deserved honor. This is a class that will never be forgotten, and you will be in all those pictures. I can't wait. Congratulations, friends.
I just say, and you guys, thank you. I just wish Kobe was there, you know.
Absolutely.
That's going to be the tough thing about it. So it should be an interesting weekend, and thank you very much.
Amen. And shout out to our friends Mike Wilbon, Mike Green being honored in the media wing of things. It's really going to be a special weekend, Marc. So thank you for joining us. We will look for you as the festivities go. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.